Taxonomy is the science involved with classifying groups of organisms on the basis of shared characteristics. Organisms are grouped according to a series of hierarchical taxa. The more taxa organisms share, the more similar they are. The taxa used are kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. An advantage of natural classification is that it identifies traits based on groupings rather than assigning groups based on traits. This means that it can be used to show evolutionary relationships and predict characteristics shared by species within a group. According to a natural classification, each taxonomic level includes all species that would have evolved from a common ancestor. Species of the same genus would have a common genus ancestor and be more closely related than species of the same order. Hence, organisms that share a lower taxa must share all higher taxa.
Historically, there have been two main classification schemes used to identify living organisms: artificial and natural classification. Both use prominent features as the basis for classification, however, differ in the way these characteristics are established. Artificial classification involves selecting unifying characteristics first and then grouping organisms accordingly. The advantage of artificial classification is that such schemes are easy to develop and relatively stable, unlikely to change. The disadvantage is that they do not generally show evolutionary relationships and for this reason are not commonly used. For example, if organisms were classified according to the presence of fins, then whales would be grouped with fish. If organisms were classified based on the presence of shells, then snails would be grouped with turtles and not with squid.
Natural classification involves grouping organisms based on similarities first and then in identifying shared characteristics. According to a natural classification system, all members of a particular group would have shared a common ancestor. This means that natural classification schemes can be used to predict characteristics shared by species within a group. A disadvantage of such schemes is that they are highly mutable and tend to change as new information is discovered. A third type of classification, phylogenetic classification, is now being used to differentiate organisms based on genetics. Organisms who share a greater level of homology in their DNA or amino acid sequences are expected to be more closely related.